Up In Smok'd Podcast. I'm here with Sam Hampson, who we've been trying to get on to the show for quite some time.
Yeah, you just wouldn't leave me alone, Leigh. I'm so glad to be here.
Finally got him on because he's got so many stories we want to hear about. Thanks for coming, Sam.
Leigh,
really appreciate it.
Great to be here.
Where do we start? You are an ex-hostage.
Oh, okay.
Straight in with that one.
That's my vibe. Yeah, very big victim energy. Yeah, this is me. Ex-hostage. I love the way you just didn't segue into that at all. You went, you're a loser, right? This is the thing.
Yeah, no, you were telling me about you're a hostage, and I found it very funny. Very not funny. Yeah,
no. It's let's be honest. Victim blaming is hilarious.
Yes.
I'm an ex-hostage, or are you always a hostage? When you've been there, I don't know if that defines you. But it's, I was at university and I was taken hostage for like 3 hours. 2 guys went to prison for it eventually for false imprisonment, I think was the official title.
Okay.
I was going to Tesco one night. They said, "Excuse me, mate, do you smoke?" And look at me, that's not my vibe. And they went, "Okay, well, give us some money to go and buy some cigarettes." And we spent a good few hours wandering around cash machine, across the whole of East Midlands, trying to get them some cash.
So you put the wrong PIN number in on purpose so that it would, and then you just all walked out. I mean, were you nervous?
No, I was having a lovely evening.
You enjoyed yourself,
It was far better than doing uni work.
But they weren't. They were determined to get this money.
Yeah, they were frustratedly, I think is the way of putting it. I thought it was a genius plan to block my card immediately and be like, "Sorry, lads, doesn't work. Try your luck with someone else." And they didn't go for that. So we went cash machine. And they were like, "This one will work. This next one will work." And I'm like, "This has never happened to me before. This is not a thing." And eventually they took me into an alleyway and put me on like my knees and had a knife and were like, "If this next one doesn't work, you're done." And I was like, "Okay, I'm pretty sure it's not going to work because I've blocked the card, but we'll give it a go."
Yeah.
So we went into a shop, we went into like a convenience store, and I just got in a screaming match with the cashier. And I was saying, "What do you mean this doesn't work? This is an outrage. How dare you doubt my money?" And like started shouting, like not that polite, but I was kind of, so eventually she called the police on me.
Oh, smart move.
I know.
You get yourself in trouble. You're lucky she didn't just throw you out.
Yeah, but it was quite like, I don't think I have the vibe of someone who'd pick a fight in a convenience store.
Yeah.
So she was a bit like, are you really trying this? Is this where you want to go with this? But yeah, we had a few hours and then, eventually they went to prison. Never went to court. Like I didn't go to court. I did the video lineup, picking them out of the...
Yeah.
Picking out the lineup and
So what happens? You waited in the shop and then the police came and then you just said there's 2 guys outside with it.
They ran off because they were loitering at the back,
okay.
watching me pick this fight with this poor woman who was like, "What are you doing? Trying to buy a bounty and shout at me?" And I'm like, "No, this is serious." And screaming in the face. And she eventually said, "If you don't stop, we'll call the police." So she called the police and 2 lads ran off. I think probably waited for me around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was a big night for me, Leigh.
It sounds like really,
the mad thing was,
intense stuff. Yeah.
So it was like, it wasn't scary because you spend your time going, if I get scared, if I get worried, this gets worse. So you just don't. You just go with it and you chat and you kind of trying to be conversation with them, and that, which is very frustrating for them. They didn't love that. But I spent the time memorizing like one of their neck tattoos. They had a big neck tattoo here. And then when I did the video lineup, the police digitally removed it because they said it was unfair. They said it was an unfair identification.
It's unfair to have a mark that proves
they were like,
that you're you.
Yeah, we either have to put a fake one on everybody else or take it off him. So, and I was like, that's mad.
But that's actually just silly.
It was just silly. That's exactly my point. But in the end, I couldn't pick him out because I'd spent so long just looking at this tattoo and kind of memorizing the pattern.
Yeah.
They took it off and I said, "I'm really sorry, I can't pick him out for sure because it's a pretty big difference not having a massive neck tattoo and not." So yeah, but didn't pick him, but they still got him, and because I was able to describe it, and went to prison.
Okay, I'm glad they went to prison. I do think that's one of the stupidest rules I've ever heard.
I don't know if it's like a blanket rule or they just thought it was a bit too easy for them to convict and they wanted to make it harder for themselves. I don't know.
But that's like if he's 6 foot tall and ginger and you make them all be 6 foot tall and ginger.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, give me a chance here, guys.
It's not really about leveling the playing field, is it? It's
No.
about giving them a fair chance to escape. That's not what we're going for. But yeah, that was my night of Yeah, being a hostage. I love that was your first question. I mean, like, Sam, hostage.
You know, I went
tell me
straight
about
over
the
that, and I
worst.
don't even know why. Because the main reason is you're a comedian. You've been doing you've been doing comedy for a couple of years, and this year you're going to go and do a split bill in the Fringe.
I am, yeah. We're me and my friend Sophie White, very good comic, probably better than me. We're going to go and do a show called Is This It? We're going to Brighton. We're going to Edinburgh. We're going to make a bucket list, Lee. We're going to do some fun
your
things.
Bucket list.
Yeah, we're going to talk to the audience about kind of. We're both in our 30s, and we're both thinking about. Like, Is This It? Sounds like a fairly grim title, being like, oh God. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be talking about what's next and what the big dreams, and it's okay to have hope, I think, which is quite a grand idea, but I think it'll be fun. Yeah.
Your set is about it's okay to have hope.
Yeah, essentially. I mean, so like,
positive vibes.
The world, I don't know if you've noticed, the world is pretty shit sometimes. So we're kind of going to be talking about, like, there's a lot of things that go wrong. We've all got problems, but I think it's very easy to go to Edinburgh and go, God, isn't everything terrible? I've got this trauma.
Yeah.
And we're going to do a bit of that. We've all got, like, as you rightly said, I'm a hostage. There's things we've had that have gone wrong, but we're going to find some good things as well. So it's going to be a fun hour.
So I don't want to go back, but did you ever make material of the hostage?
No, I probably shouldn't I?
Yes, that sounds like something you could
processing
use
trauma in a positive way. Yeah, no, we'll talk about it. I think we might make that part of the show. Maybe it feels like a big thing to ignore and be like, I don't want to brush over that. It was a big thing.
No, that's the story.
Yeah,
yeah, cool. So you're both doing that you'll be there for a month then in Edinburgh this year. Watch him in Edinburgh.
Yeah, this year it's going to be great. Edinburgh is going to be a funny year for it, I think, because it's so expensive. The world is expensive now, right? But I think there's going to be some people are really struggling to make Edinburgh work this year. So we're going to go up, we're going to figure it out, and we'll be there for a while. Yeah,
because they all say it's quite a challenge, isn't it, to try and survive Edinburgh and try and cover your costs.
I mean, I can't speak for everyone, but like, I've not done it before for a whole month. Because that would be brutal. The cost of it, never mind putting yourself out there every day. The people I've known friends who've done it 2-3 shows a day, and like that's commitment, right? It's a job, you're doing it for work, but also that is a slog, a long, never mind financial, but just doing over and over and over. So full respect, we're going to go up and we're going to figure it out. And you were just saying before we start recording that you're tempted to.
Yeah, I'd love to give it a go. Yeah, and work from home. But then if you go there for a month, will the wife come? Or
she didn't last year, so we'll see.
No.
She might enjoy the break. I don't know. I think she's encouraging me to do it. Maybe for that. She's like, you really should go away for a month.
Yeah, you go and make your dreams happen.
Probably to another country. Just go up there, go a couple of miles away and do that. So she's either my biggest supporter or like really needs a break.
She wants a rest.
For which both understandable.
Sam's away, just relax now.
I think she'd have a lovely time.
Finally.
Yeah.
Finally, he took the hints of
encouragement. Yeah, she's really desperate for me to do the whole month. So I don't know. Read into that what you will.
Cool. I think it seems like a great thing to do. I mean, obviously it does. It sounds like most people lose money on it, but to really polish a set, if you do that same set every day for 30 days or 30...
I think you've got to get better. Like, it's not just comedy, is it? You keep doing something, you've got a choice of either you just go through the motions or you try and get better. And I know some people do comedy in very different ways, want to be like absolute stars, they want to do like... They've got different goals for it. But at the very least, surely you just want to get a bit better than you were last time. So
is that your goal? Is just to get a little bit better?
Yeah, just not be terrible. Just not be as bad as last night. That's always.
But then you're not terrible, are you? Because you won the cup right here, didn't you? You are an award-winning comedian.
Yeah, sometimes it's the audience, Lee, and they were very kind, and they all had a vote, and I don't know, it went well, and won the trophy here. Came back headlined last week, I think 2 weeks ago. Really great night. Ram Jam Records, Kingston.
Records right here.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah,
so
you did it with Crack Comedy.
Yeah, Crack Comedy, and it goes well often enough to keep going. Hey, it's I think if it was terrible all the time, you'd be struggling to carry on. But people do comedy in very different ways. But you need a good gig once in a while.
Do you ever get a really bad gig?
Yep. Oh,
loads of those.
I was going to try and style it out and be like, no, never, no, bad gig. Yeah, no, some
Any
really
memorable.
Really bleak gigs. Do you know what? Never some traumas. I've seen, like, I was at a gig last week where someone picked a fight with someone in the audience, like their friend. They just came to stage and they started doing it. And when someone does that show, you're like, oh, even my bad gigs are not that bad. I think I've only ever seen one person who shouldn't be on stage, and he was like made an audience member buy him a drink to say sorry, and it was that kind of level of like, if that's the bar, I'm doing okay. It's fine.
Yeah.
My bad gigs are not that bad. So if I start picking fights from the stage, then maybe I should stop. But we're all right for now.
We actually had that recently. A comedian who had a dispute with some audience members from his own past.
Okay.
And it came out in the show.
I love what they were in the audience.
They were in the audience, but
wow.
they didn't know he was there.
Oh,
and there was something to do with. Yeah.
Oh, see, I'm like weirdly jealous now. I want that level of kind of intrigue and feuds and like rivalries.
But the other audience are like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
You know, they couldn't tell that started as a joke or not.
Live the drama. No,
just all awkward.
It's fine. Now I've had, you know, everyone has some deeply average gigs. But I think someone says to me the other week, you need to do the bad gigs. You're doing the bad gigs to be better. Yeah. But you need a good gig once in a while to keep you
in the game.
To stop you killing yourself. You're like, not exactly, to go home and be like, wow, that was
just
bleak.
Bad gig after bad gig, you have to eventually go, f*** this.
People say to you going, oh, how's it going? Is it going well? And they always want you to say it's going amazing, it's going brilliant.
Yeah.
You need to be able to say it's gone well once recently at least. It's fun, hey? There's worse ways to spend your evening.
And what's your inspiration of material? You know, what do you talk about?
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Because you start off doing comedy and you figure out what can get a laugh and what you can do. And I remember doing one show. I did a show at Edinburgh last year. I was on someone else's show, and I talked about the riots. You remember the riots last summer? And it was like not maybe obviously the most hilarious topic, but it went really well. We had some jokes. It was fun. The audience really loved it. Did it the next day, same stuff. The audience really did not love it. They were like, we don't want to talk about riots. That's not fun. And so I basically just called myself a virgin, and they all lost their shit. They were like, this is what we need. So it's funny. You figure out what you can talk about yourself, what you can talk about the world, and how to make it funny. So, yeah, it's a journey. We're figuring it out. And like the show this year is going to be very much about like where we're at in life and being in our 30s and talk about what you know, rather than talk about kind of wildly different things that you're joking about, but it's not your stuff.
Yeah, I think it's important to stick to the stuff that's in your own life. That's what to talk about.
I think audiences have a really good bullshit detector. They know if you're talking about something that you've kind of don't know what you're talking about. If you go, this is a joke, they go, okay, but it's not yours. So I think there's got to be a middle ground, right? You've got to be able to talk about something that you feel you know a little bit about or talk about.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to know. People say you should be talking about something that the audience can relate to, but also you should talk about stuff that is your own life. Yeah, right. So I'll talk about being from one of the most bombed villages in Ireland, which I find funny. The stuff I'm talking about, I can see how people could maybe not relate to being bombed and stuff like that there. But nobody gets to laugh. Anyway, nobody works.
I'm very jealous of people who can come to stage and do like the most obscure, insane things and just get people to go with them. I'm like, oh wow, that's like if it's a full act or if it's a really niche area, but they can do it so well. Yeah, I love that. I can't do that. For full respect to them, it's not my thing. Yeah, one of the most interesting ones I've seen was James Acaster talking about a cheese grater. Yeah, okay. And I was thinking, how? Yeah. How are you grating cheese and then we should both have that challenge. We should do a cheese grater set and see if we can make it work. But I think Acaster is, a different level. Yeah, and then the other stuff that I was doing material about last year, and it's because this is the kind of stuff that interests me, so it's not about my life, but stuff that interests me was a lot to do with the American politics. Right. I did a lot of material about Joe Biden. Yeah. You know, I never understood how he got in there, in the first place. I don't think Joe Biden understood either by the end. No, definitely by the end he didn't. But, I mean, from the beginning you could see that that he obviously wasn't the full ticket. And I did material about that. And a lot of the time I get laughs. A lot of the time people didn't seem to know what I was talking about. Like, what? Joe Biden's running America. He obviously knows what he's doing and all this kind of stuff. But do you ever do material about that or like Trump or... I'm definitely political. Like, it's something that interests me. But you're doing 5-minute sets across London, and not everyone wants an escape from that sometimes. So you're not going to come to stage and be like, guys, have you heard about the trade tariffs that are coming in? Yeah. It's maybe not what people are looking for in the evening. So there's a skill, right? You've got to do... I've got this theory that people... Crazy maybe, but people care. People care about the world. People care about what's going on. But we're all so tired. Like, it's a really tiring fucking time. So there's a balance. You don't just come to stage and try and go into that detail, but it's hard to ignore as well.
Yeah, I think for that one, people won't want to hear jokes about the tariffs. Maybe it's too boring, but there was so much material in there with just like those two, Trump and Vance bullying Zelensky.
Yeah.
You know, watching that happening. I saw memes of it and stuff like that.
I did a show the other night, and I've got a little bit in drop in sometimes. Very Elon, Trump, JD Vance, and I threw in a little joke. JD stands for just a dickhead. And what I'd realised early in the show was there was a couple in from Florida. And I spent the whole set being very nervous that they were just going to go for me with that. And they cheered so loudly. I was so relieved. It was like not even a great joke at all, but just getting away with it and then being like, yeah, we love that. It was a real relief.
Yeah.
A real relief.
That's always the thing is if you make a joke about something, then you think you may have offended someone, and then at the end they're all clapping. Like,
I'm not the most offensive comedian ever, so there's not like a high anxiety. But for that, it was just like a Florida couple. Good chance they might not go for this, but it did, so it's fine. We're good.
I used to. Well, I still do a joke about sapiosexuals.
Yeah.
And whenever I set up the joke, well, I've changed how I set up the joke, but it would involve, and it wouldn't insult or anything, but it would involve other sexualities. And I'd always feel the room go tense. It's like, where's he going with this?
Yeah,
what's he gonna, is a heterosexual man, what's he going to say?
Yeah.
And then once I did the punchline and stuff, they realised I'm not offending anyone, and everyone would laugh and it'd be fine. But it's always
I've got an ADHD joke at the moment, which is going nicely. It's a silly little joke, but people really, you can see them sit up in their seats straight away. As soon as you start setting it up, they're like, I might hate this. Just be ready for me to walk out.
Yeah, that's because now everybody has ADHD, though.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, let's not get into it on this podcast, but it's a very current thing.
You know, I think 10 years from now, people will get diagnosed with not having ADHD.
Yeah, that's the special thing.
We'll
get there.
You know?
We'll get there. Let's not diagnose
I'm
people
really
live
sorry
on air,
your kid doesn't have ADHD.
Got some bad news.
Go
test results are negative. I don't think you test for it like that, but it's, So the joke's been doing fine to the point that someone came up to me the other week and I didn't do it in a show. And they were like, I missed your ADHD joke. And I'm like, okay, that's a relief that's the level we're at rather than, thank God you didn't go for that.
Yeah. What was the one I did the jokes about Joe Biden sniffing young 12-year-old girl's hair?
Yeah.
The first time I did it, I got a round of applause and stuff, and I came off and people come over to shook my hand and said, I'm so glad someone's mentioning this. One guy said, nobody seems to be able to see this. I thought I was the only one who was seeing it.
Yeah.
And then other places I've done it. And
that's such a big reaction. Someone will be like, thank God someone's
talking about it. But then I've done it in most other places. I've done it, and it's got a bad reaction.
You just need to take that guy with you every time.
Come and support me, please.
It's very much his niche.
So I just cut it out because I realised that not everybody's on the same algorithm as me on YouTube where it shows Joe Biden getting up to know. Not so much now because he's out of the picture now, but that's the kind of stuff I was seeing. I had to address it.
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it? Because people are quite see the same things in different ways, and so there's some things that really connect an audience. That some people, one person will be like, oh yeah, I'm here for that, and other people go, no, thank you, not here.
Yeah, that's what I realised is that whenever you're talking, because it's almost like someone's trying to divide the world, but everyone's on these different algorithms, so they're all being fed purely one side of a story, and it feels like other people are being fed the complete opposite sides, purposely to get them to not agree with each other. And so I found out a few years ago with the general election, whenever, what do you call that guy? The one that looked like a geography teacher.
Don't they all? That doesn't narrow it down.
Corbyn.
Jeremy Corbyn. Okay,
yes.
Right.
So I couldn't remember his name. Yeah, so whenever he was going forward, and I could see my algorithm was obviously very different to other people, because mine was showing him being this really good guy, being really nice, and then people were hating him. I was like, what? How can you hate this guy? He's just so nice.
He teaches geography. What a man.
Yeah, he's just trying to help people. And then I saw, one of the things I saw from friends back home was a picture which had been clearly photoshopped of Jeremy Corbyn wearing a T-shirt in an IRA funeral that said, I heart the IRA on it.
Right, okay.
And they're all writing comments saying, this guy might be our next Prime Minister, we got to stop this here. And I'm like, surely they know it's photoshopped. I mean, you're not going to turn up to a fucking funeral wearing a big bright T-shirt. Even the IRA is going to be
If anything, you respect that bravery, wouldn't you? You're like, that's
exactly.
That.
So it's obviously false, but that was the algorithm they were on.
But it's flipped now, right? People kind of know it's false and are still okay with it. Like, I feel like most people are going, oh yeah, it's probably false, but it makes the point I want to make. And it's a really exciting thing for them to go, look at this. And it's like, are you in what? Don't look at this. This is mad. But yeah, geography teacher Jeremy, long gone, and this is the same problem in different ways now, right? And people get very excited about it. So
yeah, I think that's the ongoing thing. It's almost like someone's trying to be divisive. You know, they're trying to make you like Elon Musk is a good example. I always loved Elon, and I couldn't believe whenever people said they didn't like him. Now I can kind of see, because maybe stuff is slipping onto my algorithm now, and you see him doing all these things and that.
I love that you've done
stuff.
that. You've committed to it on the pod. It's like, he does that silly little
thing where he slugs. But
it's.
You like Elon, right?
Oh, wow. Okay, we're going to throw that out there and go, you love that,
You
Sam.
can't admit it, but he's a big Elon fan.
Yeah, sure. The two things you've done in this podcast for me is like, Sam, you're a hostage, right? And you're a Nazi. It's not my vibe. Listen, I think people are more than one thing, right? And I think Elon... Oh, you've really thrown me in here.
No, I'm not saying you're a fan. I'm just saying that you're open to him. Signed up to his mailing list.
I've got a t-shirt. He's done so much, and he is like, you can't ignore him, right? You can't. I don't think you can go, this guy is offering nothing to the world. This guy is irrelevant. He's not. He's clearly like more than ever in a position of power, and he's doing some great things. He's also, that doesn't stop him being insane, right? There's parts of what he's doing that you go, what the fuck is happening? Don't do that. So yeah, I'm not going to come in here and be like it's as black and white, but I think he's got potential to be one of the biggest impacts on humanity ever, right? Ever. And to just go, this guy's crazy is really simplistic, but some of what he does is pretty fucking crazy. So
yeah, I mean, he's already probably the biggest impact on mankind, but I always loved him because he always seemed to be trying to do stuff that was genuinely for mankind. You know, like he's all, and like the rockets trying to get us from London to New York in, I think it was an hour or 2 hours or something like there. Right. And I mean, there's some crazy stuff he done, like he sent a car out to space and stuff.
But it was still, you know, making a point that this is what we're doing with space travel and doing things. Like, this is it, right?
There was a point to that. I thought that was just for fun.
Well, maybe that was just
one day. Maybe that I can send a car out.
Yeah, I mean, it's advertising, right? It's got his Tesla going around the earth, but it's kind of like saying we're trying to do something here, and I think everyone's so keen for people to be heroes or villains, and it's just one thing. You have to hate them or love them.
Yeah.
And right now, it's probably a bit easier to be on the hate side, right? But he's still doing the cars, he's still doing space travel, he's still doing energy, robotics, AI. Yeah. Like Neuralink. People, I'm sure, will make their own minds up. But what's the official line of this podcast? Are we pro Elon or anti? I'm going to leave that to you.
Personally, I can see that he may end up morphing into this evil guy or whatever, but I've been a big fan all along.
Yeah.
Now I kind of get a feeling he's losing his mind a little bit. I mean, it must be a very strange place to be that powerful. I mean, you couldn't really have that many. It's not like you're going down to the pub with your mates at the end of the night or something. He works all day every day. He lives a very isolated life.
Yeah.
And I seen one clip where he was clearly off his face on drugs. Yeah. You know, so he's probably found joy in that or relief from that.
That's like an established thing now, isn't it? I don't know if I'm slandering, but ketamine, and it's quite a well documented thing that he is taking drugs to sustain his life and to kind of was it in the Walter Isaacson book?
I didn't know, but it would make sense. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm not like someone fact check me on that.
So you're saying Elon Musk is a serious drug?
No.
Drug addict. Yeah.
Not done the research for that. I didn't realize that was where we were going today with this podcast. Being like, listen, big reveal.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it's a big leap to at least make that guess, right?
It'd have to be on something, I guess. If you want to work all day, every day, 16 hours a day, for that long.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do it. I've worked many hours to build business and stuff, but after a while,
let's just say I'd be interested to see a urine sample. That's where we're at with that. I don't, no judgment, but yeah.
So you want an Elon urine sample for your mantelpiece?
That's my dream. Who knows?
Memorabilia of mankind.
That would go on eBay well, I think, wouldn't it? Like, it sounds weird now, but I'd make money from that.
People would just make little Elons, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
He's already done it. You know what's weird about him? Because I like him, but he's obviously
That's
be
such
where
a
he
question that I could answer like 10
I
different
know.
ways. What's weird about Elon Musk? I don't know. Tell me. Like.
One of the quotes that he said is that he doesn't understand, or no, he thinks it's mad, the idea of sexual intercourse if it isn't for the purpose of reproduction. So just having the sex.
Okay.
He's saying, what's the point?
Right.
He doesn't get it. So he's got 13 kids, which
yeah.
I assume means he's had sex. Well, it doesn't necessarily mean 13 times. He's made 13 attempts. It could have been numerous each time,
Let's
I
not
guess.
get bogged down in that. How many times he's tried and failed.
Yeah. So, so whenever he is reproducing, why is he doing it? Why is he having more? Why is he having so many is what I'm saying.
Are you saying he's having the most functional sex ever, but just like...
Purely... He's trying to have another one, which means there's a specific number he's going for, right? Obviously, he can afford all the maintenance and stuff. That's fine.
Yeah.
But like that new kid he has, I don't know if it's a new kid. It's this young kid that's walking around on his shoulders and all this here stuff. Seems like this is like the little future.
This is the favourite.
He's a little favourite.
Yeah.
You know,
you say that, but didn't he leave him behind a few times? Like David Cameron left his kid at the pub. It's like there was a video the other week walking off and just this little kid around. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's possible. You know what? One of his other kids transitioned into a female.
Yeah.
You know about that there? And then that seems to be the thing that has set him off to the dark side when he talks about that.
Yeah, so supposedly that's the big thing about him talking about the woke mind virus.
Yeah, and that he's dedicating his life to going against him, which maybe pushed him too far.
Yeah.
But yeah, that little kid, whenever the kid was in the White House, I mean, he's sitting there in the White House. They've just been calling Zelensky all sorts of names for not wearing a suit.
Yeah.
He's in there in a baseball cap, a T-shirt, kid on his
With
shoulders.
His kid.
The kid's telling Donald Trump, "You're not the real president." He's obviously heard it from somewhere.
Yeah.
You know?
So that's what Zelensky was missing. He should have brought some kids with him. That would have
be
been
more acceptable.
Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah.
So it makes me wonder, has he been talking in front of his kid going, Donald Trump thinks he's the president, I'll do whatever I want, and the kid's saying all the same stuff out loud.
Yeah,
that's what he's hearing. This kid's going to be a little fuck.
Yeah,
that's
the life, isn't it? Who knows how that's going to go? It's called X. XAE12.
Well, the kid's called X.
Yeah.
That's mental.
So, yeah.
You shouldn't be allowed to do stuff like that. Poor kid's called X. I mean, I don't know if he'll go to a real school or what will happen, but imagine the brag that is. My dad's the richest man in the world.
It's also, you're going to know it. When you meet someone called X, you're like, oh, you're the X, right? Like, it's not a common thing. It's like, Sam? Yeah, that's Sam. But no, with X, I think it's going to be very, very clear all life who that is. So, we'll see.
No, I know. Yeah. So I wonder what that would be. Because I saw a podcast with Noel Gallagher's daughter on it.
Oh yeah.
And she was saying that the people talking to her were saying, "Oh, whenever you're in school, you must get treated a certain way because you're Noel Gallagher's daughter." And then she said, "No, whenever you're in the same class as Beckham, the Beckham kid,
okay.
no one really cares too much
if
about who you are."
Level, yeah,
you know, so. So the Beckham kid was like this high profile kid, I guess. Yeah. So what will X be? X will be like, you're not allowed to make direct eye contact and all this here kind of stuff.
It might send him to like a school in Croydon and really alpha everybody. Like that feels like the weird thing that Elon would do, would just send him out somewhere to really
he has
be
to
the
learn
star.
Some way or something.
Doesn't go, who knows? But it's don't envy the kid. Don't envy the kid. You've got kids, right?
Kind of.
Have you got kids?
One, yeah.
X? Called X?
Called X. No, my son's called Cameron.
Okay.
Because I was given the girl's name, Leigh.
Yeah.
My dad's called Alwyn, the girl's name.
Nice.
So we're just going to keep the girl's name thing going.
Oh, fun.
So I'm hoping Cameron's going to call his young son, Cynthia or something. Just keep it going.
Slightly bigger each time. Yeah, slightly bolder.
So my son, but he's grown up.
Okay.
25.
He's made it now. He's fine. Doesn't need to be worried about.
He works in the bar in London Bridge, my bar.
Oh, fun. Okay. So you got a choice in that, or have you just kept tied him up?
Listen, this is what you're doing.
Fine. Good.
No, he did actually. He left recently. He's now working another bar in London Bridge, but he was working there.
Oh, nice. You work together?
We did hear during COVID he was always complaining because everyone got furloughed and everyone was got to be off.
Yeah.
So we were quite busy because we were open for the takeaway beer.
Yeah.
So we'd have queues on both doors, and me and Cameron sit there pouring out the pints and selling it out.
That's so wholesome.
And then he'd be like, "Dad, how come I have to work?" I'm like, "Family business, Cameron. Just hurry up. Just get out."
Yeah.
So he worked with me for like 7 years. I started off as bar runner,
Nice.
and then bar supervisor, and
See, I've not got kids, but I can see the appeal if you just got cheap labour. That's
exactly.
Like, you build a little army.
You feed them in scraps.
Yeah, fair.
And you give them a room upstairs. And
Yeah,
that
yeah,
was
nice.
it. So so at one point here it was myself, and then I had my son on the bar, my brother in the kitchen, and my dad in the smoker.
Yeah, lovely.
My dad was a painter decorator, and he came over to paint the hall.
Yeah.
And I was smoking the meat, and then he's seen me do it, and he's like, "Oh, this looks good.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
fun.
mind doing this." And I said, "You want to learn?" And he goes, "Yeah." And I said, "Right, learn." And I showed him how to do it, and then he took over.
Nice.
And started doing the smoking.
Yeah, cool.
So it saved me having to do it. So at one point it was always going on. My cousin was upstairs working in the office, and it was
Such a fun marketing thing. It's just a family business, all men with girls' names. Cooking meat.
Yes, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Come to Kingston, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
but then now they don't work here, so
Okay.
it didn't. There wasn't a happy end.
Let's not
It
probe
didn't
into
work out
that.
that way. No.
A massive family feud. Okay.
So what else? So you were a business law tax investigator. I've abbreviated something there. I might have got some of that wrong.
No, it's all right. I worked in tax. My first job, my first career after uni.
Was that your dream?
Was that my dream?
Yes.
To be in tax?
Yes.
No, it wasn't. It's a good question, a fair question, but no. It was a good job. I did 5 years of that. I did physics at university. Look at me. Of course I did physics. It was that was the progression, and then went into doing tax. And it was fine, right? It was parts of it are good, parts of it are bad, and you have chapters in life. You met some fun people, and you did some good things. So yeah, it was all right.
And then that wasn't, you just had enough of that then in the end, did you? And then you said...
I mean, for all the reasons, there's reasons to move on from a job, I think.
Yeah.
And I'd done a good spell, I'd done a few years training, a few years in a position working in a very sensible job, and then started looking around for other things, and then moved on after that and did... Yeah, moved on, it was good. But it was we looked at different... We had different chapters within that, so we did different investigations, so restaurants, and I did a lot of
You were
tax
investigating
return.
restaurants,
I was
huh?
Not just don't fall out with me. You're like,
You're
what
the enemy,
fuck?
huh?
No. If it helps, I wasn't very good at the job, so you're fine.
How many
you're
people
safe.
did you put behind bars?
Yeah,
huh?
if only. Imagine I was that.
Yeah.
Cool. We did a dawn raid once, which I kind of loved and hated. We went at 5 a.m. to a house near Heathrow, and it was a ton of people who were living illegally in the house, right? In the country illegally and in the house illegally. And we were after the landlord because he was basically avoiding tax. But we went in with the police and the Home Office and loads of things, and you're like, this is not necessarily the job I signed up to. And all the police were chasing the tenants, and we were like, we just want to get the landlord, that's fine. So you kind of look around and go, is this what I want to be doing? Is this the thing? But it's something to do, you know.
And then what did you move to? What are you doing now when you don't do music?
So
music, comedy.
I
Don't
did.
do music. He doesn't do music. Do you do music?
I wish.
Yeah.
No. I did tax 5 years, and I went into tax law because some things you can just have that much fun.
Was that the dream?
Was that the dream? Yeah, I love that you're looking at me going, this guy loves tax.
He just loves doing numbers.
No, it wasn't. I did 5 years of tax law over Brexit, over COVID. Over the government changing every 2 minutes and trying to help law firms understand what was going on. And that was a very sensible chapter, and that's good. And now comedy's a very different approach to tax and law. It probably doesn't surprise anyone to know, but yeah, it's good.
If you were guaranteed success in your career, what would you go for?
Oh, that's a big question. From now on, am I starting again?
Okay, well, either. It doesn't matter. You're starting again and you're guaranteed success to get to the very top of whatever. What would you do?
Football or something. It's hard to say no to, isn't it?
Football, that'd be awesome.
You're asking me if you were a child and what would you do? To be that good. Yeah, there's part of me that still has not quite given up on a full-time professional football career.
Yeah.
I haven't kicked a ball in a few years, but part of me does see a miracle happening. If like there's a kid in the park and a football runs away from the game, I am the first there to kick it back.
So were you good at football?
No, absolutely not.
Oh, you weren't good?
No,
okay.
so it's probably an ambitious goal. This is why I end up in tax, because there was no skills there in anywhere else to pursue. So, yeah, look, there's a lot of ways. I think there's chapters in life and you can do different things. And I wish there was a big light bulb moment going, this is who I am. This is the dream. This is what I'm meant to be. But I think you can just pull at threads, hey, and see where it goes and try your best to do it. So, yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's when you get older, then you realise that even if you weren't good at football, if that was what you actually wanted to do, if you did it every day, I think anybody can be really, really good at anything. If they
football's a cliche answer. Right? You can, like, being great at anything sounds lovely to me. That's fantastic. But you do loads of things as well. We were talking about this before we start recording. You've got a lot of interest in life and a lot of things, and you want to be good at. It's hard to show up and do something really, really well, but it's worth trying. But yeah, I'll take football, Leigh, if that's the offer, or anything.
Football, yeah.
Is that really unimaginative? Do you want me to say...
No, it's not unimaginative at all, because it seems like the coolest job. What, you work on a Saturday afternoon?
I mean, yeah, it's better than tax, isn't it? So that's a step up, I think. I
mean, if you got to the top of football, you'd be complaining if you only get paid $100,000 a week.
Yeah.
You'd be like, what's this bullshit?
That's not even top. Do you know what? I was never cut out for sport, I think. The glasses and the just general everything didn't help. I remember playing rugby for the first time at school. And like all the guys had been playing for a little bit longer than me. It was quite a rugby area. They loved it. But I was a big, like, tall kid. Mm-hmm. And they were saying the first time we played, they were all a bit nervous that I was going to be really, really good. Mm-hmm. But it was the first kind of sport where I took my glasses off. And they realised very quickly that I couldn't really see. And so they were like, you could see there was a moment where they went, oh no, this guy's terrible. So I don't think that was for me. I think it became apparent really soon that I was not a natural athlete going to conquer that world.
And were you, what, in school, were you tall or short?
Yeah, big lad. I was quite tall. Got grey hair when I was like 14, 13.
How have you done with grey hair now?
So I've got a little patch there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I didn't notice that.
Yeah. It's not, I don't dye or anything. It's just hidden away. But
it's kind of almost like a comb over for grey.
Yeah, I've got a little grey streak. And sometimes people notice me like, do you put that in?
You got it at 14?
Yeah, young.
Was that trauma? Or?
I don't think so. If it is, I've blanked it out entirely. Maybe it was the rugby thing. I don't know. But it's, no big incident. Oh, the hostage thing was years later, so I can't blame that.
It's not that then. No. Yeah, okay. Because, I remember a guy I knew when we were 19, when I was working in the factory, and completely grey hair. Like full on grey head.
Right. No, I think, touch wood, my dad's got a good head of hair. I think I'm keeping the hair for a while. Mm-hmm. But the grey came in early. So, we have different things, don't we? Yeah, so my hair, my dad was quite bald at 22 or something like that there. Okay. And then like 30, 35, all he had left was this little island. And he clung on. He kept hold of it. Yeah, he kept the island. Yeah. Spiked it. No. Yeah, that's one little spike of hair. A little island. So I always purposely tell my son that it skips a generation, and that's where he's heading. He needs to know it's coming. Yeah. Depress him a little bit, But you should. You've got to be careful to do, because everyone's depressed these days, So you don't want to. It's good to be honest. Like, let him know that fate's there. Just let them know at least that's a possibility. Yeah. That he's not going to have this big thick head of hair at 44. Yeah, fair. So needles. You love needles. I love needles. I don't know. I don't know why I've told you any of this, Leigh. I pass out. That's a thing for me. Has that always been the case? Yeah. Like, it's always been, when you go for an injection before going on holiday or anything like that, I will always keel over. I will always, give it 2 minutes, give it 10 minutes, I'll be over. There was once I had an injection, I don't know, yellow fever or something, it was going away. Doctor's surgery, and I remember walking out feeling fine, and I went over in the waiting room, of the surgery. Mm-hmm. And I remember coming round a minute later, and there was this old woman and little kid, fanning me with a magazine. And my brother, who'd come with me, was sat in a chair, reading. He was like, oh, he'll be fine. He does this all the time. It's very, further to fall, being 6'2" or whatever, but it's not a strong, manly look I've got going on there. Is that what you are, 6'2"? Something like that. Oh. Whenever I was in the high school. What was that? Oh, what was that? That was like a... No, you're not. No, you're not. That's such a big shout. Don't drop that in.
I just didn't notice that you were tall. That's
Okay.
all.
It's weird that I've brought it up then. Now it's like maybe I need to stop slouching.
Yeah.
Adjust the cameras, Ali. We'll make this obvious. That I'm tall.
Whenever I was in high school, I was 5'4", and one of my best mates was 6'6.5".
Okay. Right. Yeah. You've done me there. Can't compete.
Yeah. I don't know why he always mentioned the half. I mean, 6'6" is pretty big anyway. But he always said, "Oh, yeah."
No, but if you've got it, flaunt it. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I did a show with somebody last night, and he came to stage, and it didn't. I don't remember it being part of a joke, but he put it in there that he had size 15 feet.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, that is important. We know that. That's really good. And he was a white guy, glasses, size 15 feet, and I felt very inferior to him. So fine, we need to know where we stand, hey? So
yeah, it's one of those things. That, I was looking recently. I guess it's a vanity, but I wanted to get my teeth fixed.
Yeah.
Sounds like a random subject here, but it's on point. I thought I couldn't be bothered to get braces, so I would maybe just go to Turkey. You pay the money and you get all the big gleaming teeth. You look like made in Chelsea, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But when I was on the website, I could see that there was an option for the same price to make it taller.
What?
And make it taller. And I thought, oh, interesting.
How?
What they do is, and so the maximum height that I could become, based on my thing now, is 6'2", same height as you. And I thought, you know what I'm going to do?
No. How?
Okay,
Like,
I'll explain how.
Is it just adding bits on top? 'Cause
No.
that doesn't feel. That's not impressive.
No.
Come back from Turkey
it takes
with
4 months to recover from this here, and I really want to do it, but not tell anyone. And just come back and just act like it didn't happen. And just don't say anything and just be your height, right?
Disappear for 4 months and then you turn up and someone's like,
turn up,
are you
say,
2
"Alright,
inches
guys."
taller? Like,
Well, I'm 5'8" now, so what's 6'2", so it must be 6 inches I can add on. Is that right? Did I do the maths right? Whatever it was, I did the sum at the time, and it was 5'8", 5'12" is 4. Yes, okay. So don't correct my math.
Having an argument off camera here, being like,
That's my only good
4
thing in
inches, 6
inches. So I could be 6'2". So what they do is they break your legs here.
What?
And I think 2 places. They break your legs. They stick things into the side with pins in it.
Yeah.
And then that secures it. And then your bones will start trying to meet each other. But as they get close, I guess, they keep turning the little thing and pulling them further apart. And then it keeps trying to reach each other to mend itself. And they keep pulling it another little bit apart.
Right.
Until that part of your leg is... I think both parts of your leg are now taller.
So you're breaking both your legs to do this?
Breaking both your legs, yeah. In
and you're spending 4 months making sure they stay broken.
4 months in a wheelchair, and then at the end you're that much taller.
You get 6 inches out of it. I know inches matter, but that feels like a lot of effort.
It's extreme, but the thing is, it's your height is in your legs, so the torsos are nearly all the same size and the same height. Because people were saying I'd look funny, big long legs, and tiny body, but the torso is not much different. Because my brother is about 6 foot.
Wait, how seriously are we considering this? I say we, like me, you, and Ali. We're all doing it. This is happening.
I don't know. I mean, I guess now, if I hadn't discovered it, would I have done it earlier? I don't know. But
because short kings, I'm not saying like. No judgment, but short kings are a thing now, right? That's a
no. I think I spoke with this previously in one of the other ones. Whenever I was in school, being short was a cool thing, and you were really popular, and the women loved you because you were cute, and you get all the hot girls.
Okay.
And everyone used to talk about tall, dark, and handsome men, and I didn't get what they were talking about. So what are they talking about? They like us as short guys. And then whenever you're older, you realize, well, actually, they do want the tall guys. So you can still be cool and popular as a short guy.
This is going to get you the hits on. This is a divisive podcast topic of how tall you have to be to need surgery to be better. Like, and what's the level? Like, what's it worth? 6 months in a wheelchair.
You know what? I mean, short guys are but it's the women will just scroll past them. I mean, I know from girls that I've dated in the past where they've said that the first thing they do on a app is they click on it to see what height the guy is. If he's below 6 foot, then they scroll to the next one, so they don't look at it.
So what Leigh's saying is, if you're 5'9", get surgery.
Get surgery. You know, Turkey, $5,000.
Yeah.
$5,000. You can come back a new person. 4 months after 4 months of painful recovery.
Great teeth, great hair, and slightly taller. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's it. The only problem is whenever you're in your 60s and you fall over, you just break. Like,
but you've had the memories of being slightly better view.
The thing is, my brother Scott, he said to me that God made me short on purpose because he said, Leigh, you're too confident now at this height.
Yeah.
He said, can you imagine if you're tall? And I did actually once. I don't know. Yeah, so once years ago, I got these little inserts in my shoes to make you like an inch taller.
Right.
And I could see that what he said is absolutely true. I got the train. I was walking through Waterloo, and I was 1 inch, just 1 inch taller. And I was walking past guys who are my real height, thinking, short loser.
Just strolling along.
I'm so much cooler than you.
There is like an easier solution here, Lee. You don't have to go for surgery. You can just get heels. Like, do that with confidence.
No, they make this weird fucking squelching thing. That's why I wore them for one day. I was like, fuck that. I'd rather just be short and walk around uncomfortable.
Fine.
I don't know how women do that, because one day of discomfort, I was like, nah.
Listen, you've clearly thought about
heels,
this.
I just don't know why they're doing it.
No, fine.
Just be short.
Your choice, your life.
You guys, that's what I don't understand with women in the high heels, because it's not like we're looking for tall women,
right?
I don't know. Well, maybe you're 6'2", you feel different, but
I'm all right. I don't know. I've never thought about it this much.
No.
But I'll reflect on it. But yeah, I'm not going to make
my girlfriend's taller than me, so.
Okay, but she's still your girlfriend, so you're already in.
There you go.
Unless you're looking to swap her out for somebody else and trying to get like up in your height range, this is fine.
But if she did wear high heels, then
you need surgery. She gets bigger shoes, goes to the shop, and she's like, Lee, I've got some news. You going to Turkey?
Yeah,
this is fine. Yeah, fine.
Here's your birthday present. There you go. Good luck.
I really like these shoes, but you need to keep up.
So I just thought of how, if you're going through a midlife crisis and you want to do it right, it's not just a sports car. Come back 6'2", big white teeth.
Yeah.
Maybe fake abs.
Start comedy. That's the midlife crisis.
Well, I did the comedy. I started doing the comedy. That was step one of the midlife crisis.
Yeah.
And
we're escalating.
I got the sports car.
Yeah.
Not a good one, but a sports car.
Yeah.
The loud boy racer kind of like loud engine. Not loud engine, loud exhaust.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even like cars.
No, but you can
really
tell.
Loud ones.
The big rumble. Yeah.
I drove through Cornwall. We went there to visit, and I was in my car. It's this really loud noise, like someone who likes cars would buy, not me.
Yeah.
I was just influenced. I was like, yeah, I'll buy it.
Yeah.
So I drove through Cornwall, and I could see all the young guys as they hear my car driving up the estate, going, "What?" Fuck you. It's like I just look like one of those bellends who thinks he's a cool guy.
But you were completely oblivious.
I hate the car.
You were like, it's fine.
I hate
Have it.
It's lowered and it hardly even goes over bumps.
I've got two cousins who work in Formula One. One of them used to be Hamilton's pet engineer, and they've both got legitimately cool jobs. But cars are not my thing. Like, completely wasted on me. So people get really excited. I'm like, I've got nothing to add on this. This is like fair enough. They're like, do you ever get to go to the Grand Prix? And I'm like, why would I? I don't want to do that. So fair enough. People need their own things, right? But it's one day I should catch up. But not yet.
So you're not bothered with them?
No, not cars. No. I'm 6'2". I'm cool enough. I'm all right. I'm fine.
But you don't have a car?
I've got a car. I've got a car. Like yeah. I'm not against all cars. I just mean to the level
you don't
of
hate cars.
No, I don't know. Like,
but in London, you don't need a car, really.
No, I think because I'm from up north, and my parents are up there, and go to my wife's parents, and need to make trips. But not against cars as a concept, but Formula One is just wasted.
Nearly 20 years in London, but no car, never needed one until I bought one, and now I need one always.
Well, I didn't pass my test until I was like 27.
Me too, 27.
I learnt to drive 3 times, never took the test, eventually took the test and passed first go, but I was 27, so it's not a flex. And I think I'm just like, well, I should probably have a car now to do that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I passed 27, failed twice, got in my third one. The first time I was so close to passing. Yeah. And then just at the very, very last turn, I crashed the car.
Okay, that would hold you back.
No, you know what? I was actually annoyed she failed me.
What, because you do, like, crashing is
no,
not...
I know, but it was just that one thing, and all the rest was flawless. I was so cocky. We just had that last left turn to do.
That's like
2 left turns. One left turn, then left again, and I'm in the building.
Yeah, but then you crash the car. That's like being a surgeon and being like, everything went really, really well. It was a great surgery. Patient died. Yeah, but you shouldn't hold that against me.
But everything else was flawless.
It was a perfect surgery.
But just that I just had to turn left and then left again, and I sat there for ages watching the cars come, watching them come. Then I got a gap and I went left and I heard a big scrape, and the car went up a little bit, then down again.
A big scrape and then a crash.
Because there was a big pillar.
And then fire and then explode. Yeah, okay. I love that you're still bitter. You've clung on to this and being like, I can't believe I was wrong.
I was really annoyed, and then whenever I came for my third one, so not my second but my third after that, I was late for the test because I left my thing in the train station, my bag, and I had to drive back to get it in the car.
Yeah.
And then drive back again. And proper kind of test to try and get there. And then when I got there, the same woman that I crashed the first time with comes out, and I was like, oh, shit. And she goes... She
was just there with a helmet on this time, right?
She goes, hi, my name's Alison. And I was about to go, oh, I'm Leigh, the guy that crashed the car. And I was like, hi, I'm Leigh, and I shook her hand, and she didn't realize. I guess probably people crash the car every day, so she didn't
gets that a lot.
Me, you know.
Yeah.
And I passed, but because it was her again, I remember driving out of the yard, and my legs started shaking with the nerves, and I thought this is going to mess me up.
It's going to happen again.
I didn't. Yeah. Yes, but I didn't crash, and I
Congratulations.
passed.
Have you crashed since?
Have I crashed since? No, good.
It's fine. Were you just checking my whiskey?
No, just saying how you getting on with the whiskey there. You
know what? You said to me earlier, we're recording this for anyone who's watching at 7 a.m. and you were like, full, do you want a bottle of whiskey? Not 7 a.m.
So, Glengoyne.
Okay, wait, yeah, go on.
You know, this is one of the smoothest.
You still got the lid on.
Yep.
So.
I've done this before. That bit's getting punched.
How many bars do you run?
Did I? Oh, I put it back on after you did that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. So Glengoyne, actually one of the smoothest whiskies you'll ever have. Beautiful. One of my favorite whiskies. One of the slowest made whiskies.
Really?
Yeah, that's why it's so. It's made in the column still, and they kind of drip. They kind of drip it. And instead of being.
It's good whiskey.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah.
Super. You like it?
Yeah, I genuinely do.
It's a good way to start the day, though.
I mean, I'm 2 bottles of
Am I allowed to say that even? I don't know. Yeah, I can say that. It is a good way to start the day. Just don't continue the day that way.
Somebody watches this podcast, and you've talked about how I'm a Nazi and now how I start a day with whiskey. It's not
at 7 a.m. Yeah.
This is the podcast message. Yeah, no, it's good whiskey. Good whiskey. Good.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, we're going to come to an end very soon.
Okay.
You know, it's been really, really fun.
Yeah.
Really interesting to go through all the stuff with your hostage situation.
And to work through some of my issues.
And your Nazi views.
It's been lovely to be here. I don't know if it's the whiskey talking, but it's been a great show.
But what I'm really excited about is we're going to go to the kitchen and we're going to cook some food in a second.
Right.
You've got a duck burger idea.
Yeah.
It's something to do with the 3 cartoon ducks, or was that the other guy said that?
No, that was the chef. So what happened here is you said, have you got any ideas? I said, I came up with probably the most middle class burger idea ever. Yeah. Sent it over to you, and then saw your chef this morning, and you went, okay, that's great, but here's how we do it properly.
Yeah.
Gave me the full backstory. It's got 10 extra ingredients. It's so much better. And then we're talking about duck cartoons, and I'm like, you just run with this. This is your thing. So I'm excited to see how this has come together. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Cool. And you did. So it's the duck. You didn't get a name, did you?
No. We can name it as we go.
Duck Goose. No.
Is there a goose in there as well? It might have escalated to that point.
There's a game somewhere called Duck Goose. I can't remember what it is. But anyway, we're not going to dwell too much on the name.
Okay.
But yeah, thanks very much. I really appreciate it. And have you anything? You've got your Edinburgh show coming up. Do you want to plug that right now? What's it called?
Is This It? Sam Hampson and Sophie White. We are doing the show at Jolly's on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Jolly's, Is This It? Brighton Fringe.
So Is This It? In Jolly's, Brighton Fringe. You got to check it out, guys. It's going to be a great show. He's going to be talking about all this stuff with the Elon Musk and so on.
Elon Musk is in it, is
he? Hostage situations.
Yeah, it'll all get in there.
Cool. Thanks. And
great, Leigh. Thank you so much.
Fantastic.
Thanks for the whiskey.
Thank you, man.
Cheers.